Welcome and thank you for joining me today. Today, let's read Archbook series, Jesus' First Miracle. Here he is at that wedding feast in this first miracle that we read about here in the Bible in the New Testament. This is Jesus here enjoying the presence of the people here at this wedding. And people are on the table here, they're eating. They're feasting. There's food, there's drink, there's all sorts of things to consume here. Jesus is in the midst of them enjoying the celebration, which is prolonged more than a day, right? It's kind of like an ongoing feast for some time. So, here are, you'll see in the background people serving the food. You'll see people here who are the guests, and you'll have here Jesus right here in the middle. Jesus is enjoying now time to fellowship, to get to know people, to just be able to talk to them about things here. This is in the beginning of his ministry, or before his ministry officially starts. So this is the time frame of this scene. So this story that we read about, Jesus' first miracle, where he shows his God power here. I can't wait to get started reading this story here from John 2, 1 to 11. Our children's version today is going to be written by Vivian Dede, illustrations by Chris Wold-Dyred. And here is the picture of the wine. You'll see grapes as well to represent wine, which is the icon of Jesus' first miracle. Let us get started. Here is the first page. Everybody is hustling and bustling, getting things ready, getting prepared. Everybody is also now arriving onto the scene. People are greeting each other for this beautiful event. The people had gathered. What feasting, what fun. A marriage in Cana had finally begun. Many guests were invited, and Jesus came too, plus disciples and Mary. It made quite a few. Not only was this a big event, a big feast, it was a big celebration that again went on for multiple days, and there were multiple people here on the scene in this event. And so it was almost like kind of like an event in the community, a carnival or a feast, or sorry, a fair, something like that. So that is what's happening here. It's again this grand event. The disciples and Jesus sat down in their places, but some of the people had frowns on their faces. Then Mary told Jesus, "The wine is all gone. There is nothing to really drink here," for wine would be the main drink or the only drink, right? "The guests have consumed it. The last jug is drawn." So not that they didn't have wine at all, or had very little to begin with, and it wasn't something that they were like, really giving out or emphasizing to be a part of this, event. But it is a wedding, and every wedding should have wine at this time here. So here they are, and it's still a lot more celebration to go, right? The celebration is definitely not over, but they have run out of drink. Something to quench their thirst, something to drink while they're talking, while they're eating, to eat with their food, drink with their food. "Dear mother," he answered, "my time has not come. When everything's ready, my work will be done." So that the only way that this can be resolved at this point, a miracle needed to take place. And he wasn't going to do a miracle. He was saying, at least to his mom initially, that I'm not going to use my miraculous power if that's what you're obviously trying to, suggest here. But again, it is so unfortunate, and it's like not making the party, be as good moving forward. So what shall we do? What should happen here? Well, Mary, the mother of Jesus here on earth, does not give up. She's persistent. Mary said to the servants, "Do all that he asks." They waited, were ready to learn their new tasks. There they are, very obedient right away to Mary, who's not even part of the family of the people here who are getting married. Maybe she was a close relative. Maybe she was a family member. We don't necessarily know, but they did have to of course, attend. I don't know how long their journey was. I mean, all the disciples, even Jesus' close friends, were invited. So perhaps they were people in the community they knew at least. Here are the jugs, and that is going to be the part here in the story where Jesus does, right? If we know already the story, eventually say, yes, you may use, yes, I will do something about this problem. And then they're going to use these jugs. There sat in the courtyard 6 vessels of stone, used strictly for water and water alone. So only for water. And that was the purpose of these here outside, to carry a big amount of water, right? Water was something that was probably there, that was necessary also to have for this feast, but we're talking about wine in this situation. And maybe even the water is gone or moved elsewhere, but there were empty here 6 vessels of stone or jugs. So we know that in this story, for those of us who do know, that Jesus is going to bring upon wine into this event. But here is kind of like the scene before that happens. And here Mary again shows her faith that Jesus is not going to let people down, is not going to not do something when he can. So here it is. Each took 30 gallons to fill to the rim, but Jesus instructed, fill each to the brim. So they're already filling up all these jugs, and that's because Jesus told them to. Gallons and gallons and gallons, 30 gallons here to fill all the way to the rim with fresh drinking water. So there was maybe a water supply, right, that was close by that they can get to if they just go. So that's also probably why it was there. They had already gotten their water. They weren't worried about the water. The servants here, they obeyed, right? That was key, and filled every jug to the top, as he said, as Jesus said. Jesus instructed them to, because things needed to get moving here. And they right away obeyed. So they're part of this miracle.